Hey everybody, and welcome to a special episode of Why I Love Things. I figure for this Father's Day weekend, I would talk about why I love being a dad. You'll notice my daughter isn't with me for this one because I wanted it to be a surprise so that when she hears about it, she doesn't know what's going to be said, so here we go. First off, I can't really talk about why I love being a dad without talking about my own dad, who's pretty awesome. I, as with everybody who's ever been a dad, their dad is pretty much the template for either the way that their parenting style is going to be or the exact opposite. They basically just go, well, I'm not doing any of that because that didn't go so well. But luckily my dad is one of those dads that was just great. Was he perfect? No, but nobody's perfect at being a dad. You gotta because my dad raised 4 boys, and like you that with that you kind of just like make decisions and hope you're doing things right, and like you find out later whether or not you did. And at least in my opinion, my dad did a pretty good job. Like I mean, the fact that me wanting to be a dad was mainly because of my dad is a pretty good testament. Uh, so I just wanted to say that, Dad, love you. Uh, just saying. So, from there, I just wanted to talk about my daughter and just gush a little bit. I know you guys probably, you could take it or leave it, but this is mainly for her. If you guys like it, then that's an extra bonus. First off, I just want to say my daughter has blown me away since she was born. Like when she was born, the moment she came out, was placed in a blanket and put in my arms, I knew I was done. Like, the amount of love I have for that kid, like, it sounds cliche about the whole you never know how much you love somebody until you have a kid, and then it opens up this whole world of love that you never experienced before, but it's totally true. And it's almost to a scary extent how true that is, because yeah, I was like, if anything happens to this kid, I will straight up destroy people. I know that sounds really weird and mean, but like, she's totally worth anything that could happen to me. Uh, so my wife and I, together, we think we did a pretty good job with my daughter. Like, I'm not gonna say it's 100% me or 100% my wife, but we did a pretty good job together on making sure that she's making the right decisions, even when we're not around. And I just want to say to you, kiddo, you're smart, you're funny. I love that you always want to help people. Uh, you, like, you love, I love the fact that you love to read, the fact that you love vegetables. Like, what kid does that? Like, I didn't love vegetables growing up, but she does. She loves peas and broccoli, green beans. Just, she loves steaks. Finally got her into trying a hamburger about a month ago, and that went well. Like, all that I've been able to hope for in my time as a dad is hoping that basically I instill her with the ability to make decisions that are right for her. Like, that she at least, like, if she has an idea in her head for what she wants to do, we'll give it a shot. Like, we're in a position where we can do that. I know a lot of parents aren't, because when you're broke, you don't have a lot of ability to do a bunch of different stuff. So you just kind of go, okay, is this what you want to do? Because we don't have a lot of money to go between a bunch of different things, and that sucks. Because, I mean, like, luckily, a lot of me and my wife and I's broke time was before we had a kid. So, like, we were able to get ourselves in a position that when we finally were able to have a kid, we were in a stable position. But that doesn't happen for everybody. So I know parents out there, moms and dads, you kind of just do your best and hope for the best, and sometimes your best doesn't seem like it's going to work out, but then you find out later that your kid's doing just great, and that's awesome. And sometimes your kid's not doing that great, and you're so busy working on just being a good parent and being there for them that sometimes stuff goes under the radar, and like, by the time you find out about it, it's almost too late to do anything about it. And I feel for you, man. Like, being a parent is hard. It's one of the hardest things on the planet, because sometimes what you think is going right, you won't find out for years that you screwed up, and by then you can't really do anything about it. But because I mean, there's a lot of stuff my dad did when I was a kid that was just in the name of parenting and making sure that we, like, were on the right path, that I, when I was a kid, was like, why is he doing this? This is so stupid. And then as I became an adult, not even necessarily when I became a dad, I started seeing, like, the logic and the train of thought that he was on, and I went, oh, okay, that totally makes sense from an adult perspective. But when you're a kid, you're just like, this is dumb. So, yeah, being a parent is hard. Anybody who is a parent, I do not blame you for saying how hard it is and kind of getting caught up in that. But always know that there's people out there for you. Like, hopefully, like, I know it's weird to say that some guy on the internet has your back, but I do, because I know it's not easy, and sometimes it's not that fun. Believe me, when I was changing diapers when the kiddo was young, one time I was changing her diaper and she had filled it with poop. And I know this is going to get gross. This is a story you probably don't want to hear it unless you're already a parent and you've probably dealt with something similar. But so she filled a diaper, and I was like, okay, took it off, cleaned her up, was putting a new diaper on, and she pooped. But it wasn't like in the diaper. It was like a fountain shot that shot across the room and landed on. Luckily, we had hardwood floors, because if we had carpet, that would have been a mess. But we had hardwood floors, so I was able to clean that up. But yeah, having babies are gross. Like, they're awesome, but they are gross. Nobody really tells you about that. So it's something you kind of have to experience. But yeah, babies are gross. But I would not trade the amount of time that I've had with my daughter for anything else in the world. Like, you could be like, hey, if your daughter never existed, you would have $16 billion. And I would be like, nope, because this kid is too great. Like, she's lighted up my life in ways that I will never be able to put into words. So me trying to put them into words here seems a bit weird, but uh, I love that kid. Like, and I could talk about her all day. I could. But nobody wants to sit here watching a 16-hour long video about why I love my kid. I'd watch it over and over again, but that's just me. But, yeah. So, I think that's kind of it for the Father's Day episode. Well, no, I just want to talk about one more thing. Because when you're done being a dad and your kids are out of the house, eventually you'll hit a point, probably, where you'll become a grandparent. And, like, it took me a while to understand why grandparents behave in the way that they do. Because, like, you know, I'm a dad. And, like, my dad will do stuff with my kid that I'm like, I would have never gotten away with that stuff. Like my dad would never let me do the kinds of things that he does with my daughter as a grandparent. And I'm like, why? But then I realized it. I was like, as a dad and a mom, you're the enforcers of the rules. You're the ones making all the decisions and trying to make sure that your kids make it out right. When you're a grandparent, you've done that already. So your job as a grandparent is just to have the most fun possible. That's why you're the fun grandparents. And when the kids come over to your house, they get loaded up with sugar and all that stuff. And then you're like, yeah, we had some fun. Now go home to your parents and annoy them for the rest of the day. But, yeah, like, I know eventually I'll hit that point myself, probably. If my daughter decides to have kids, who knows? Like, if she does, yippee, I'll be there along for the ride as a grandparent, just being silly, because I'm silly as a dad, but I'll be super silly as a grandparent. But, like, if she doesn't, that's no big deal. If that's a decision she wants to make, that's awesome. If not, that's totally fine. But, yeah. So, to put an end to this video, I just want to say to all the dads out there and all the granddads out there, and if you're still alive, all the great-granddads out there, happy Father's Day, even though this one's a little bit early. I love you guys. It's not easy, and sometimes it'll feel like you're not getting the respect that you deserve, but then days like this come along where it's all about you for a day, and just take that time and realize, yeah, it's all been worth it, it's all gonna be worth it, and have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.